Woo!
So,
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Yma Mat Chat. This is session number 33, I do believe. Or is it 32?
it's 34, maybe.
34. Woo!
33 or 34, one of those. Somewhere in there.
Anyway, we're super excited to be here. We are going to be discussing the value of fortitude in life and martial arts today. As you notice, for those of you that were looking and coming into StreamYard and seeing this, you'll see that I wrote in there, what does this give to us outside of the studio? What does it give moms and dads? Because this is one of the things we are out to do, is to empower moms and dads in today's world with empowering their children by giving them something that has children challenge themselves, raise the bar, level themselves up, and keep them accountable and responsible for who they are in community. And so today we're looking at fortitude, the unwavering strength of mind and spirit that allows individuals to persevere through adversity, challenges, and hardship. In both life and martial arts, fortitude is essential for growth, success, and resilience. It is the quality that separates those who give up from those who push forward, ensuring that discipline, perseverance, and determination become lifelong habits. Woo! Hand it over to you, Mr. Yarwood. Great to see you.
Fortitude. I think people probably know it as grit, right? That innate determination to just continue on doing what it is you're doing, regardless of how hard it gets, regardless of the challenges put in front of you. I think for me, it's kind of like the fuel that pushes everything else. That inside determination that just keeps you going, right? You dig deep, and a challenge comes up, something that's it's hard, like life, right? It's going to be hard. And when you have grit or fortitude, you can dig deep into that, and that's going to get you that extra little step, that next motion, that thing that's going to drive you forward, that it might, create that get you to the next level. Then you can start all over again, right? It's just that it's an intangible. It's hard to put a finger on what it really is. Like, you can't say this is exactly what it is. It's just that it's like a part of your mindset, but it's also in your gut that it's there, and it's going to push you past where you need to go so you can get further down the road and not just be one of the people standing on the side watching the parade go by. I don't think it can be trained. I don't think it can be taught. I think you have to create it within you. There's the only way it can happen. I can make you do push-ups and all this other stuff all day long, right? That's fine, but that's me making you do it. If you decide he's making me do all these push-ups, I'm not going to quit. I'm actually going to enjoy it. I'm going to laugh all the way through it. That's the difference, right? That's that fortitude that says, hey, bring it on. What do you got?
And for me, the thing about fortitude that a lot of people forget is that when it really fuels who you are and how you are, it shows up when you fail.
Yep.
It shows up in spades when you fail. What does that mean? That if you were to, say, test for a color belt and you weren't quite ready and you ended up being denied, because you just weren't ready. To be able to acknowledge that and go, okay, there were things missing. My integrity was out with what there was to provide to make that leap. What do I now have to do, and where do I now go to inside myself to challenge myself to come back and continue the path? That's where the fortitude is.
Yep, it's right at the point where you are either going to decide to quit or continue. You dig deep and say, okay, I'm at a point now where this is the hardest thing. This is the hardest it's been. Right now, if I quit, I still did better than I've done before, right? But that something inside of you says, no, it's not time to quit yet. You still got something left in you that you're going to figure out. Let's go, right? It's a voice, it's a feeling, it's whatever it is. You know, it's hard to say, hard to put your finger on it, but it's that little extra push that you get from internal voices, or however it speaks to you. It's that next step, that next little extra piece, right? A half step further, full step further. Let's go. You get, we talked about motivation last week, right? That's motivation is what gets you going, and fortitude is what keeps you going when it gets hard, when it's a challenge.
And what always surprises people, and a great example, are the SEALs teams that we hear so much about. And we've seen the movie G.I. Jane. And we've seen and heard stories. And what is always surprising, the guy that is a supreme athlete, was a phenomenal athlete in high school, is known as the kingpin, one everybody follows, the leader of the group, goes to SEAL team training and fails miserably. Because for the first time in his life, it's not about having the perfect physique, having the perfect capabilities to make something happen. It's about, because their goal, their aim is to break you. They are there to break you, to get you to the base level of being able to dig so deep inside who you are that fortitude rises up. And no matter what the stress is, no matter what the situation is, no matter how cold you are, no matter how wet you are, no matter how muddy you are, no matter how sandy you are, no matter how tired you are able to continue to push through.
Yep.
And people go, oh, well, they're brainwashing you. Well, if that's what you want to call it, you go right ahead. It isn't brainwashing. It may have an appearance similar to that, because they're causing you to do things that you didn't know that you could do autonomically. In other words, at the subconscious part of your mind, no matter what is thrown at you, no matter what bomb blows up next to you, no matter what happens to the person next to you when they're shot, you will deliver what you were trained to do.
If it was brainwashing, everybody would pass SEAL training.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then that, like, go back to that athlete you were talking about, who's always been the best at everything he's ever done. You put him in a situation where he's challenged, and it's something put in front of him that he's not able to complete, that he fails at. He's never faced adversity before, right? That's when the rubber meets the road. When you got a guy who's always been number one, he's always been collared because he's the best at what he does. He's a perfect athlete. He's all this stuff. When it's all said and done and all things are made equal, the adversity is going to get to him because he's never faced it before. He's never been challenged. He's never had to deal with something that he's failed at. Whereas somebody who comes in, who's just a middle of the road guy, he's not the best at anything. He's not the worst at anything, but he's got that drive and that desire to just keep going. He doesn't, like you said, it doesn't matter what you do to him. He's like, all right, let's go. He's not going to win. He's not going to be first. He's not going to be the best, but he's going to be there at the end.
Yep. You know, it's a little like the turtle and the hare, right? Who wins the race?
Yep. Just keep going.
Just keep going. And, you know, the great thing about that is the whole piece, and it's number 4 on this fortitude in martial arts. It says, respect and honor. True martial artists understand that strength is not just about physical ability, but also about the strength of character. Fortitude enables practitioners to stay humble in victory and gracious in defeat, demonstrating respect for instructors, opponents, and fellow students. See, that person who has always won and always had it easy comes with an attitude. They don't even know they have the attitude, but when they get broken, because the goal is to break everybody, something happens. Something happens to them. And does it mean that they all fail? No. Some just have something new to learn and something new to break through. And that's when it gets exciting.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, when we're on that topic of winning and losing, we have a tournament this weekend. And when you put yourself in a position to be judged, which is essentially what's going to happen, and things don't go your way, how you respond is fortitude. How do you, when that judge tells you you're not first place, you didn't win, how do you react? Do you get mad? Do you get upset? Do you throw things? Do you call people names? Do you blame everybody else? Or do you have that character to say, hey, this time wasn't wasn't my time. I'm going to go back, push myself harder, fix what I need to be fixed, and come back and try again. Now, it's not a guarantee that you're going to win again, but if you have that mindset that, hey, I got knocked down, it's time to get back up and figure it out, that is winning, because you've made the decision that you may have failed, right? But you learn from it. Be able to overcome adversity and move on and move through, versus quitting. And when you call everybody else your problem, when it's everybody else's fault that you didn't win, my coach didn't teach me that, the judges were unfair, there was somebody else in there who they liked better, all that stuff, you don't have the strength of character to be a winner, to be a champion. You don't have the grit to move forward and win.
In life, we have adversity. So why does this all pay off? Because of the stuff that happens inside the studio, where this really plays a big part. And parents, listen up. Life is full of challenges, whether personal, professional, or emotional. Fortitude proves and provides the inner strength to face difficulties head on and keep moving forward. Whether facing financial struggles, personal loss, or professional setbacks, those with fortitude remain steadfast in their resolve to overcome hardship. It's a game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
It's a game.
Who's got the strongest mind? Who's willing to put up with the most to get where they want to go? It's I think you can develop grit. I don't know that it's necessarily a natural occurrence. I think when you put yourself through things and challenge yourself to things, you can develop grit. but it's a personal thing, right? Like I said before, I can't make you get fortitude. I can put you in situations that might help develop it for you, but you have to make the decision to continue, to keep going, to dig deep and push through. Right? I mean, it's like discipline. Either you decide you're going to do something or not. It's all up here. No amount of yelling, screaming, none of that stuff is going to change it. If you decide you're not going to do it, there's nothing I can do to make it any different. Just like the Navy SEALs, you can have those guys try and talk them into staying. They won't stay. They quit. They're done. So it can be developed, I believe, but you have to work at it.
Yeah, and I think, whereas I know and I agree with you, Mr. Yarwood, about that it's inherent in people. What I think that is great, though, is the ability that people have to learn it, right? To be able to acquire it inside themselves as they see the benefits and the potential of the difference it makes. And also what I would say is truly just an opportunity for people to step outside of what they know, and for parents to literally have no control over the situation, even with a little kid. And then the kid is allowed to blossom on their own, to either fail or not, and to have no make wrong of that situation. Yeah.
Parents, I think, can play a big role in their kids having fortitude or not. They have the power to teach their kids about digging deep and keep going. There's a lot of parents right now, the baseball parents, the hockey parents, the whatever parents who live vicariously through their children and push them in a way that causes that child to not want to do stuff because they don't feel that they're living up to the expectations of their parents, which is harmful if their parents are that way, right? It's one when you're getting in your kid's face about his failures and all this other stuff and putting him down and saying you should be doing this or you should be doing that. That's not building them up. When they fail, of course you're going to be disappointed, but you have to help them understand that failure is a chance to learn versus being a negative, right? If a kid doesn't do what he's supposed to do, if he strikes out when he's up in the big game, right? Or he drops the football in the end zone, whatever it is, if your disappointment leads you to berating your child and calling him a failure, that doesn't build fortitude. That doesn't build grit. That builds disappointment. That builds, lack of confidence, all that stuff, right? Being there for your child and telling him, hey, you know what? You failed this time. When we get home, let's go in the backyard and practice catching versus screaming and yell at the kid because he dropped the ball, right? Help him. Teach him that when you fail, you get up and you figure out what happened, make it better for next time. That's what builds fortitude. That's what builds grit, because that kid is going to be like, all right, I failed, but it's not going to happen again. And here's why, because I'm going to dig deep. I'm going to fix it.
One of the things that we all look to have in our children is watching them get confident and step into leadership, And one of the things that is trained in the studio and on the mats is how to be a leader.
Yep.
Part of that leadership is developed from how do they follow, right? So what does it look like to follow? Well, what it looks like to follow is to be standing out, listening to a leader, and being the best demonstration of what the leader is asking for, and showing the respect to the leader by doing that. Nowhere in today's society for kids is that taught.
Nope. It's quite the opposite.
Yeah.
They look for somebody to blame versus for somebody to lead.
Yep. And they're reliant on somebody else making decisions for them, including the teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what should I write my paper on? I don't know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's come to the point where kids aren't taught resilience, aren't taught the fortitude. They're taught that whatever happens to you, it was somebody else's fault. Somebody made it happen to you. You didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't your fault. It was the teacher's fault. It was your friend's fault. It was this person's fault, that person's fault. It's never their fault. And when that happens, their desire to figure things out, to want to do other things is eroded because, well, one, they're afraid to fail. Two, if they do fail, there's no consequence to it. Doesn't matter. It wasn't my fault. And they move on from it. And when you have that kind of attitude, there's no reason for you to want to succeed or excel, right? There's no consequence to failure, but there's also no positive results for doing anything because it's just there's no desire to do anything. It's like, I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. There's no push. There's no consequence to action. None of that stuff is there. And when that happens, there's no drive, no desire, no ambition. They just don't want to do it. And that hurts society as a whole when you got a whole generation of people out there who do the minimal to get by. Don't step out of their little area to help anybody else or to try and push forward or to try to make things better. I mean, it's unfortunate because the kids suffer from it. They don't even know any different because that's what they're being taught.
Living with integrity. Integrity is everything we've been talking about and how we approach it, both from a winning standpoint, a losing standpoint, a standpoint of learning, a standpoint of transformation. Fortitude is not just about enduring hardship. It's also about standing firm in one's values and principles. The values and principles that are being taught in the studio by what's memorized at the beginning. It's a great opportunity to level kids' mindset up by being responsible for how they view the world, how they view their fellow classmates, how they view their instructors, how they view the property, all of those things. People come into the studio with problems and they leave learning how to be responsible and take that responsibility to every single area of their life And in a world full of temptations and shortcuts, those with fortitude remain true to their beliefs and act with honor and integrity.
Yep, our goal for all the people who come through that door and start training with us on the mats is not just to teach them taekwondo. That's the bare minimum. That's the conduit to all the other things that we teach them. And for us, when they're practicing fortitude, I guess is a good way to put it, is, that learning a new move, something that's challenging them, right? Like you can just see them struggling, and you can tell the difference between a kid who has the fortitude to want to do it and the kid who doesn't, who needs it. Because the kid who wants to figure it out just keeps going. He's going to keep trying it out. The other kid's like, I can't do it. I'm going to try something else. They just give up. And those are the kids who, we all need it, right? But those are the kids who need it the most. That little extra push, that little extra, sometimes it's a word of encouragement. It's not always, it's developed through them knowing that somebody's got their back, that's going to be there for them when they fall. They're going to pick them back up, dust them off, and push them forward. It's like, all right, let's go. And if you're able to display it yourself, the fortitude, this is how I look at it. Because for me, I need to set the example for my school, for my students, for my instructors, for the parents. If I'm not doing those things myself, then I'm not the example for anybody else. Because I can sit and tell you all day long, you keep practicing, train on stuff, do this. If they see me not doing it, but telling them to do it, they're like, this guy's full of crap. What am I going to learn from him? All I'm going to learn is to tell everybody else what to do. And that's not the way they grow. That's not the way they become the people we're trying to get them to become. So I have to not only help them figure it out, but I have to do it by doing it myself. And that's a challenge too, because it's not always easy. I have all these eyes on me. Everybody's watching Mr. Yarwood.
And when he makes a mistake, we all have fun pointing it out.
Yep, that's right. But you know what? Self-deprecation, man, that's how it goes. I understand. But that when they point that out to me, that's like, all right, that's my challenge now. I got to fix it. I don't go, it doesn't matter. I was wrong. I screwed up. What do I do to fix it? And they're watching that too. That's the biggest part. How does he respond when he makes a mistake? Does he blame everybody else? Or does he figure it out, learn from it, and move on and teach everybody else how to do it?
Yeah. Well, in conclusion, fortitude is one of the most valuable traits a person can develop, both in martial arts and in life. It fuels perseverance, strengthens character, and enables individuals to push past obstacles toward success. Whether in the dojo or facing life's challenges, fortitude is the foundation of resilience, self-discipline, and unwavering determination.
Just keep going.
Never give up.
Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, move forward.
One foot in front of the other.
That's right.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Well, anything else for you, Mr. Yarwood? I think we did, we kind of hammered it today.
Almost felt like a lecture today.
Well, I really
Oh,
think
well.
and I think in closing, ladies and gentlemen, this really is something. Come and check it out for 30 days. Come and see, Mr. Yarwood is willing to put his money where his mouth is and where his training is.
Yep.
Come and check it out for 30 days because you will see such a tremendous shift in your kid that you would just absolutely, I mean, it's a toe curling experience to see kids that come back after a few weeks and share with people how well they're doing in school, how things have turned around, how people are looking up to them. Oh,
Yep.
really cool. Really cool. Well, I am going to go ahead and plug us out. Let's see here. Media assets.
You on the mats.
Thank you, sir. See you on the mats tomorrow. And here we go.